Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another virtual Sunday school session.
Mummy, it's not even Sunday.
It's not Sunday today, is it? It's not actually Sunday. Adam, what day is it?
Good Friday.
It's Good Friday. And Ella, can you tell us why Good Friday is important?
Because Jesus died on the cross for us.
That's right. So we thought it would be a really good idea for us all to come together and to learn what happened to Jesus on Good Friday. And in the time leading towards his crucifixion and his death on the cross. Before we do that, we're going to open with our usual opening prayer, which today is going to be led by Luke. Luke, up you get. Ready, everybody?
God loved me from the top of my head to the tips of my toes, from the lobes of my ears to the end of my nose, from my back to my front to my wee fingers.
God loves me. Lovely. Well done, Luke. Now, thankfully, little Anya, who's not been feeling very well today, is feeling bright enough to join us for this session. So we're really glad to have you here, Anya. We're glad you're feeling a little bit better. So we're going to learn, as I said, what happened to Jesus on Good Friday. And instead of just reading this story from the Bible, because actually you can get your mums and dads to read the story from the Bible for you, or you can have a look for a clip on the internet that will show you a little video about what happened to Jesus. So I thought we would do something a little bit different to talk about the story, and we are going to use what is called the Stations of the Cross. So the stations, actually maybe Ella, maybe you could tell us. Ella did some research about what the Stations of the Cross are. Ella, do you remember what the Stations of the Cross are?
They're like representations of the path Jesus took to crucifixion.
That's right. So they're a series of images which you normally find around church buildings. And in fact, last year over Lent, the children of St Paul's School, each year group did 2 pictures representing a certain point, a certain station in Jesus's journey that day to crucifixion. So as we can't go into our churches at the moment, and we can't look at these pictures and pray the Stations of the Cross in church, I wanted to create something that we could make at home to help us to recreate the Stations of the Cross, and therefore to learn about Jesus's journey on Good Friday. So the first thing I did was got an old shoebox and covered it in purple tissue paper, which I ordered from Amazon, and it took forever to arrive. So if you haven't got any purple paper, just use something else. Anything that's going to make the box look pretty. And then we printed off a little sign that just says Stations of the Cross that's going to go on the front of our box. And then for inside, to take us through the stations, I printed these cards off. I'll put the link on the website, but these are basically from the Twinkle website, and there are 14 stations, and each one of them has a different picture and some words on them. And then we're going to match each one of these pictures to an object which we will place into the box, and we can look at the picture and hold the object in our hands, and we can pray whilst we've got that object in our hands. So we'll just talk through them. We'll just talk through them now. So I'm also putting a link on the website for a PowerPoint presentation that Ella put together, with again another description of each of the stations, and then she's made up a little prayer to go at the end of it. So you could say that prayer while you're holding the relevant object. So let's just work through them. So Adam, what's the first Station of the Cross?
The first station of the cross is Jesus is condemned to death.
Condemned. Jesus is condemned to death. And when this happens, his hands are tied behind his back with a piece of rope, and he's told that he's going to die. So if you look at the items in front of me, can you see anything that might slightly resemble a piece of rope that could have... Very good, Anya, that's it. Yeah, so we've got some string here, string or rope or anything that you could use to tie someone's hands together behind their back. And that matches up with this picture here. So they go in the box together. Now on the PowerPoint presentation that Ella prepared, it says, Jesus was accused of many crimes that he didn't commit, but he didn't defend himself because he knew he needed to die for our sins. And the prayer is, hands together guys. So you could do this holding your piece of string. Jesus, I often become defensive when I know I have done wrong. Help me to be honest. And that can go into the box. So the second station, Anya, what's that one? Look at the screen, darling.
Second station, Jesus carrying the cross.
That's right. So Jesus was made to carry a huge, heavy cross all by himself. This would have been really, really difficult for him to do. He had to carry this cross. Look at that, Luke. That's Jesus carrying a cross. Can you see something amongst our items here, Luke, that we could put into the box to remind us of Jesus carrying his cross? What can you see? Well, this cross is going to come later, but we can use this cross here. Okay?
And the hand.
Can you put it in the box?
Yeah.
Put the cross into the box.
What about the
Put the
hand?
cross into the box with the picture. We'll talk about that one in a minute. So put that cross into the box with the picture. And here it says, the cross was big and heavy, but Jesus carried it, even though it was hard for him to do so. And we've got a lovely prayer there that you can say while you're holding the cross. So that's station number 2 in the box. Ella.
The third station is that Jesus falls for the first time.
Jesus falls for the first time. So we know that Jesus falls 3 times whilst he's carrying the cross. So we got 3 plasters. Well, we got 1 plaster. We cut it into 3 pieces, and on each of them we've written a number. So the one with the number 1 represents Jesus falling for the first time. So that with the plaster and Ella's little printout with her prayer is going in to represent the 3rd station. So the 4th one, Adam, big loud voice, what does that say?
Jesus meets his mother Mary.
So Jesus, whilst he's walking and he's carrying his cross, he meets his mother Mary, and he looks, well, he's probably really happy to see his mother because it's his mother, but he's also very sad because he sees that she's crying and she's looking really upset. Look at the picture there, Luke. Mary's looking very upset, isn't she? And Anya, can you see a picture that might remind us of Jesus' mother? There we go. So we've got this, which our Nana brought back from us when she went to Fatima in Portugal. There's a picture of Jesus' mother Mary on the front of there. So that's going to go into our box. And in there we're also going to put our prayer. This is a lovely one. I really like this. For this prayer, Ella wrote, our parents love us very much, and sometimes we don't let them hug us because we are angry or upset. Jesus, I thank you for my parents and for their love. Amen. That was a really lovely prayer. I really like that, Ella. So the 6th station. Ella?
Veronica wipes the face of Jesus.
Veronica wipes the face of Jesus. That's the wrong one. That's the 6th one. They're just not in order. The 5th one is Simon helps Jesus to carry the cross. So we have a picture there of Simon helping Jesus to carry the really heavy, heavy cross. So Luke, what item do we have here that might show somebody giving somebody else a helping hand?
The hand.
The hands, yeah. So we had some hands that Anya had made at school. She put a little prayer on there. She said that she prays the people in Sri Lanka are all right. So we've used that. But you could trace around your hands, or you could print an image like this off of the internet, and that could go with the 5th station. And Ella's prayer here, she said, Lord, sometimes I don't want to help my siblings and parents when I'm told to do so. Jesus, help me to understand that when I help others, it's like helping you. I want to be kind and helpful. Okay, so the 6th station, as I said before, Veronica wipes the face of Jesus. Anya, can you see something there that we're looking for something that would remind us of a person wiping Jesus' face? That's right. So we just got a piece of cloth, And Ella drew a picture of Jesus' face on the front of it. And so that represents the 6th station, and Ella has a little prayer that she's printed off to go with that. Also into the box. The 7th station is Jesus falling for the 2nd time. What's going to go with this one, Luke? Jesus falls for the 2nd time. That's right, it's the plaster with the number 2 on it. And we're going to put that into the box. Again, with our special prayer. 8th, Adam, big voice.
Jesus meets the women of Jerusalem.
Jesus meets the women of Jerusalem. So the women of Jerusalem were on their knees and they were crying. They were so upset. Ella's printed off here. This is lovely. A lot of people were against Jesus, but the people who weren't were all faithful friends, and they stuck with Jesus right to the end. So these women were weeping for Jesus, and Jesus told them not to weep for him, but to weep for their children and their families. So we have an item in front of us that people, not that one, sweetheart, that's right, tissues to wipe the tears of the women who were crying for Jesus, and they're going to go into the box.
With a prayer?
There is a prayer in there, yeah. I'm not reading all of the prayers out. The 9th station, Jesus falls for the 3rd time. Luke, what do we have to go into our box? Jesus falls for the 3rd time. Very good. Plaster with the number 3 on it. Excellent. So Jesus, he fell 3 times when he was carrying his cross because his cross was so heavy. But he did not give up. He just kept on going. And our prayer here is, Jesus Christ, help me to be strong like you and to forgive others even when they hurt me. That goes into the box with our 3rd plaster. The 10th station, Jesus is stripped of his clothes. All of his clothes are taken away from him. Anya, there we go, that's it. So we just got a little bit of fabric from some old clothes that we didn't need anymore that we were going to throw away. And we cut a small piece off there, and that's going to go into the box. And Ella wrote here, being without clothes is a humiliating thing for anyone, but Jesus wasn't ashamed of his body because he knew that God in heaven loved him. Lord, help me to know how much you and Jesus love me, so that I may never be embarrassed or ashamed of my body. Next, the 11th station is Jesus being nailed to the cross. So after he'd carried that cross the whole way, at the 11th station here, we can see that the soldiers then nailed Jesus to the cross. So what do we have in front of us that might remind us that Jesus was nailed? Yeah, we have nails. Now ideally, these are tiny, look at these, tiny nails, all I could find. Ideally we'd have 3 nails, 1 for each hand and 1 for his feet, but I could only find 2. So we've got 2 nails and we'll add another one at some point, and that goes in there with our prayer.
Remember, 2 feet, 2 hands.
Yeah, but I think they put his feet together like this and then they just needed 1. 12th station is Jesus. This is very sad now, Luke. This is when Jesus died on the cross.
I know.
Yeah, what do you think? What's going to go with that? The crucifix, there we go. There is Jesus nailed to the cross. And that's going to go into our box to represent the 12th station. And it says on this card that Ella printed off for me, when Jesus died, the sky became dark and the ground began to shake. The curtain in the middle of the temple tore in half, and this was when the Roman guards became aware that they had made a very big mistake and that Jesus really was the Son of God. And the prayer, Jesus, help me admit when I make mistakes and help me learn that you will always forgive me. The 13th station is Jesus being taken down off the cross. Anya, have you got anything in front of you? Jesus being taken. Lovely. We just printed this picture off the internet. I don't know if you can see it very well. It's a famous Michelangelo piece, and Jesus there, his body is being carried down from the cross. So that's going to go in the box with the 13th station, and again we've got a little bit more of the story and a prayer. Finally, we have the 14th station. So Jesus is taken from the cross, he's wrapped in burial clothes, and he's placed inside a tomb, and a great big stone is rolled in front of the tomb, and some guards sit by the tomb and they guard it because they had heard that Jesus could rise from the dead, and they don't want to take any chances, so they want to guard it, and they put a big rock there. So we've got a rock that represents the 14th station, and that will go into our box. Our prayer here is actually, Ella wrote here, Jesus was laid in the tomb after he was taken down from the cross. This helps us to remember that even when things seem dark, there is still hope, as we know God is with us. And the prayer, Jesus, I believe that you died and rose again for us. I believe that you are our Saviour and the Son of God. Amen. And this rock, bless you, this rock's going to go into the box. So these are our Stations of the Cross. Stations of the Cross, and this is our Stations of the Cross box. And we can look in this box whenever we like, any time of the year. It doesn't have to be Good Friday, it doesn't have to be Lent. And we can read all of the stations and say all of the prayers, or we can just pick up one and look at the picture, find the object and say the prayer. So that's that. Can we put that to one side, please, Ella darling? So the next thing we're going to do is some cross crafts. Now we have drawn with finger paint, yeah. With finger paint. So Ella has drawn some big crosses onto this sheet of white paper. Don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to give one to Luke there, one to Anya, and one to Adam. And what they're going to do, let's put the paint in the middle, is they're going to get a little bit of paint on their finger, and then they're going to dab it all around the cross. Do you want to make a start, and then the children watching will be able to see what you're doing?
I'm going to show you how you make.
Very good. Sit back while you're doing it, because I'm going to talk about something else. So the other craft that we have is another cross craft, and this uses some sellotape and some watercolour paint. It's a really simple one. So you basically...
Mum, should we use different fingers?
Different fingers for different colours, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to make a cross on our piece of white paper out of sellotape. And then once we've got the cross, we're going to paint the entire piece of paper with some watercolour paint. And the result is really very pretty, actually. And we can put these cross pictures up around our house to remind us of what Jesus did for us on Good Friday, what a sacrifice he made for us. There you go, Ella. So Ella's going to paint this one. See how you guys are getting on with your finger painting. Very nice. So they're just dabbing paint around the picture, close to the cross, but not on the cross. So I knew it's quite nice if you go around and really close to the edge of the cross without actually, you see? Maybe it might look nice if we do all of round near the cross in red. What do you think? Yeah? All around here like this.
I'm doing multicoloured.
Very nice, Luke. Yeah, so you really want to fill the whole page with little dots of paint.
But
All right now, Adam?
Yes.
Yeah? Alright, I'll let you carry on. How are you going, Ella? Alright? Nice work, Luke. Look, I can still see lots of white though.
And then because it's very hard to get it all multicoloured.
It's a lot of paint, isn't it? Yeah, keep going. You're doing a good job.
And you must do that in watercolour just in case it gets on the tape. You can wash it off. Because you're not.
Yeah, so the cross with the sellotape has to be watercolour so that you can wipe the paint off the cross
Does the other one
when
have
you're
to
finished.
be acrylic or can it be watercolour as well?
It's not acrylic paint, this is just the
No.
normal, it's like Crayola paints. Wash off your hands really easily. But yeah, you wouldn't use watercolour for that, it wouldn't be bright enough.
Have to do it in green.
Wow, Mummy, look at this.
I know, you're doing a really good job. I'm just going to hold Luke's up to show you where he is so far.
Mine looks multicolored.
It is, it's lovely. So create these beautiful pictures at home as usual. If you can, get your grown-ups to take some photographs and send them over to
look
us.
at Anya.
We've been putting some on the church website. If you haven't seen them already, go to the church website, and I think under children and families there are some pictures of what we've been up to at Sunday Club, which is fantastic given that we haven't actually had any real life Sunday Club sessions, but you guys are all
Good Friday Club.
Yeah, you guys are all really getting involved and doing the activities at home, which is fantastic. So we need to keep that good work going and make sure we're sharing it with our friends. It's a really nice way for us all to keep in touch.
We can take pictures as well of them.
Yeah.
We can. And send them to our friends.
We can send pictures to our friends as well, yeah. We can tell them all about what we do at Sunday school. And we can let them all watch our videos and see how much fun it is. See how much you guys enjoy yourself.
Well.
Adam's doing a great job. I'm going to hold this up, Adam, because it's really starting to come together now.
Why don't
Look
you
at that.
hold Anya's up? It's
How
really
pretty.
good, Anya.
And Anya, should we hold yours up as well? Really
Mine's
pretty.
getting even more
So they can go up around the house, and then we'll be able to remember when we look at them.
I know, you can
What
put
will
them
we
in
remember when we look
boxes.
at the crosses, Luke? What happened to Jesus on the cross?
He died on it, so there could be an Easter. He died for us because
Yeah.
it was going to be good. So there could be a Good Friday and an Easter Sunday.
Yeah, so obviously Good Friday is quite sad because
And it's also good because
it's called Good Friday, but it's quite sad because Jesus dies. But
it's happy and as well.
no, it's not happy yet, is it? It's happy. It's really important to come back on Easter Sunday to learn about why it's a good thing, and to learn what happened,
Easter.
and to learn about the rest of the story. So come back on Easter Sunday. I think Eleanor and Rhiannon Sheldon and their parents are going to be running our Easter Sunday session, so I'm sure they'll have something really fun lined up for us. So when you've finished your watercolour picture, you just need to wipe over the sellotaped cross that you stuck onto the paper and leave it somewhere to dry. But I hope you can see this. Look at how lovely that looks.
You can do it any colour,
Yeah,
but
you can
just
do
not
all
black.
colours. We've got a few more that
These
we
are Luke's
that we
ones.
prepared earlier. Luke did
But-
these ones for us.
But,
Luke.
but do not do black.
Luke. Yeah, so those are the ones we did earlier, and the finger painting pictures are really coming on a treat as well. They've done a really good job.
Now look at mine.
All right, so I think that brings us to the end of our Good Friday session. We are going to finish in prayer. So everybody, sorry about the paint on your hands, but just put your hands together anyway. Best prayer hands. Dear Lord Jesus, we are excited to learn more about you, to read the Bible and hear stories. Thank you that we can come together to worship you. Thank you that we can create and make things that remind us of you. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you guys. We'll hope to see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.